at the net didn't have her whistle, so now she has it. 3-1, side out, and Gray will serve for Bigfork. Serve just short into the net, can't get run across, and Richter will come in for Gray. And back serving, I can't see the number for Troy. It looks like number 8, Pierce, across, dug out by, over. And Halverson sets it up, and missing the spike is Chapius. Madison Chapius up front with Howlett and Halverson. Digging it out is Halverson sets up Howlett left hand, spikes it across, dug out by Troy. Is going to set up Howlett again, spikes it down the middle, dug out by Ribeiro. Hermes spiking down and blocked. Off the block, Montana Rice hits it off the block of Halverson and drops on the Bigfork side and a side out. And check that, a point for Troy and 4-3 on your scoreboard as Pierce will serve. Gray, the dig, Halverson setting up Gray. Gray spikes it down, or check that, that was Chapius in the middle, spiking it down on the set by Halverson. And we're tied at 4 apiece. And a side out to Bigfork as Halverson will serve. And number 9, Lizzie Morkerberg comes in for Troy. And Bigfork getting ready to swap. And it looks like number 6, that's Kiara Morrow, will come in for Dana Sari. Officials having a tough time here trying to get a whistle that actually works, I guess. And Morrow in the front line with Chapius and Howlett, Gray, Richner, and Halverson. Halverson serve across, drops it in right in the middle for an ace for Aubrey Halverson. And the Valkyries lead 5-4 on your Gilliard-Pating scoreboard. Halverson to serve. Gets it across, far side, dug out. Morrow, Richner can't quite save it as Morrow digs it out to the far side, and Richner tries to go over and get it, and a side out to Troy. And Talmadge will serve. Momentarily, as soon as the officials are ready. Service on the way. Gray digs it up. Halverson sets up Howlett spikes it down in between, and it hits the floor as it bounces off Hermes. And a point side out to Bigfork. And Howlett will serve. Howlett serve on the way, right down the middle, and dug out. Talmadge thought it was going to be in, and off her hands, and 7-5 Bigfork. Here's a serve. And a nice serve by Howlett, dug out, and trying to get across, but Hermes from Morkerberg cannot get it across and in play, and it is 8-5 Bigfork. Howlett. Serve, jump serve, gets it across, dug out by Hermes. Howlett, Halverson will set up Pizzola across the net and knocked out of bounds by number 5, Leah Clay, and a point for Bigfork. And they're saying it touched or went behind the antenna, so actually check that. 8-6 and a side out. Montana Rice serves. Richner digs it out. Setting up Gray. Gray can't get the spike down from Halverson. And 8-7 as Rice will continue to serve. 406-270-7384 off of Richner and Halverson, out of bounds. And a point. We're tied at 8. Service by Rice. Gets it across. Richter can't quite dig it off the floor. And Troy will take a 9-8 lead. Fox gets across, knocks it out of play. Service dug out by Morrow. Pizzola, and she's going to hit that one out of bounds. And an ace service by Rice. And someone says that we lost our connection here. And a timeout for the Valkyries. Oh, 406-270-7384. It says we're live right now broadcasting. So as the timeout is complete, Rice will continue to serve for Troy. And 12-8, they lead. Chapius off her hands from the backcourt and out of play. And a point for Troy as they lead 13-8 here in the first set. Best of 5. Service across off Chapius and out of play. By Madison, and 14-8 as Rice will continue to serve. Service. And they can't quite handle the serve as off Richner. And Gray will replace Richner in the back. Rice serving. In between Gray and Fox. And they're not communicating there. Just let it drop in 16-8. Dug out by Gray, across by Pizzola, in play. Halverson, over to Morrow. Pizzola hits it down the line, out of play on the wrong side of that antenna. And a point, 17-8 for the Lady Trojans. And a service deep, and the Valkyries needed that one. And service by Richner. Richner. Jump serve into the net. And side out 18-9. And coming in is number 14, Olivia Ramirez to serve. A sophomore outside hitter for Troy. And blocked by Troy. Another point, 19-9 as they lead by 10. And Gray will come in. Service by Ramirez. Richner digs it out. Halverson setting up Gray. Gray spikes it and dug out off the hands of Hermes, and a point side out to Bigfork, 19-10. And changing. Sari comes in for Morrow, and Sari will serve as they trail by 9. Service, and an ace for Dana Sari, who just came into the match. And the Valkyries trail by 8, 19-11 on your Montana Athletics scoreboard. Service on the way from Sari, deep and out of play on the far side. Down the left line, and no good. And 20-11 here in the first set. The Valkyries trail to Troy. Service on the way. Dug out by Richner. Sari sets up Halverson, gets it across. Dug out by Talmadge. And spiking it into the net is Ramirez, Isabel Ramirez for Troy, and a side out, 20-12. And Miranda Gray back to serve for the Valkyries. Service right down the middle, off of backcourt, a nice serve. And off the hands for a point for Bigfork, 20-13, as Sari, Richner, and Gray in the backcourt. Up front, Halverson, Fry, and Howlett. Service across, dug out by Troy. There, LaBelle tries to hit it across Hermes and can't quite get it up and across the net. Dug out there by number 4. Christian McCulley does hit the first serve, and 20-14. Gray will continue to serve. Serves at the backcourt. Across, Gray will take it. Sari looking to set up Gray. And spiked down, but dug out by Sari. Halverson pushes it back. Dug out by McCulley. Across. Howlett set up and sets it out of play, and there's no way she has to get that one across the net and in play. And side out, 21-14. LaBelle will serve it right into the net. That's Maisie Hermes for the Lady Trojans. Side out, 21-15. The Valkyries within 6. Fry serves it deep off of Beckcourt's hand, and a deep serve by Fry. And Beckcourt plays it on the far end and goes off her hands. And within 5 at 21-16 are the Valkyries here in set number 1. Service, deep, Beckcourt will dig it out. Talmadge, Rice spikes it down. Duck out by Gray, or Fry. Spiked off the hands of Pierce by Chapius, and a point for Bigfork, 21-14 as they pull within 4 here in the first set. Fry, deep serve to Beckcourt. Talmadge, Rice gets it across, dug out by Howlett. Sari looking to set up Halverson. Halverson spikes it down. There by Hermes. Talmadge, dug out by Gray, nicked across by Sari. Talmadge looking to spike it. Set up. Is number 8, Pierce. She spikes it in play on the Bigfork side, and side out point for Troy. 22-17 on your Tall Pine scoreboard. And Talmadge will check that. Pierce will serve, and her service goes right into the net for Troy, and a side out ball right back to Bigfork. And Halverson will go back to serve. And replacing Sari, it'll be Morrow in the front side. Service by Sari. Check that. Richner digs it out. Halverson going to set to Howlett. Howlett spikes it across and off the hands of Hermes, and then Talmadge, and out of play, and a point for Bigfork on a nice spike there by Howlett.